Hey everybody, welcome back to the library with Miss McDonald. It's been a while since I've seen you all. We've been out of away from the school for a couple of weeks now, and so we haven't gotten to have our normal library visits. So I wanted to send something out to you that I thought might be a little bit fun. You all are all big readers, and you always come and make excellent choices in the library, really interesting selections. Everything from, the fiction Newbery winners to mysteries. Sometimes we choose folk tales, nonfiction about wars, Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales, graphic novels. You guys really have a wide variety of interests. So I'm sure that you're reading books at home. And I started to think about the way that I've been reading. I've had a little more time to read, so while I have chosen some new books I hadn't read before, I'm also going back and reading a few that I really enjoyed reading before. And it got me to thinking about the fourth grade. And so you might not forget so much about the library. I started to think about your all's love of books and how we started talking about classic books. We read some selections from Rikki Tikki Tavi, Rudyard Kipling. This is Just So Stories, another classic. That would be a great book for you guys to explore on your level. And some of you all are doing the Grace Lynn books. They're pretty interesting. This is another one that's a Newbery winner. It's Inside Out and Back Again. And it is by Tana Lai, and she wrote this book about a 10-year-old girl who moves from Vietnam to the United States, and her experience with that. And I also thought, I've been making some videos, and I'm not really good at technology, kind of resistant, but I'm getting better at it since I'm having to do more of it. And I've started to explore making videos and even editing them. So once I finish filming this, I hope for this to be my first really, truly edited video that's going on my YouTube channel. And I started to think about you all and the time that you have, a little extra time at home. I know spring break's coming up and we're not allowed to go anywhere, but with the time you have at home, your curiosity about books, your interest in technology, and also combined with what you've been learning in your class about opinion writing, it made me think of a project that I used to see when I was about your age. I'd turn on KET, and they had a show called Reading Rainbow. And Reading Rainbow is hosted by LeVar Burton, and it was a great way to learn about books. But right at the end, at the very end of every episode, there were book reviews that were done on children's books by children. And I thought, this might be something that could get you interested in some of your old favorites. So I decided to go through and see some of the ones that I really liked and remembered. Of course, you can see behind me, Curious George, The Ant Bully, and Sheila Ray the Brave is one that I read to my kids. So I loved all those stories. See if you know any of these. Did you ever read Tiki Tiki Timbo? Used to check that out from the Paul Sawyer Library. What about this Caldecott winner, The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats? Rainbow Fish? The Sneetches and Other Stories. This includes one that you might remember, The Pants with Nobody in Them. Ooh. I know a lot of you have read this one, No David by David Shannon. There's a whole series of David books. What about the author John Sheska? He wrote The Stinky Cheese Man. And my newest favorite by him is Battle Bunny. A lot of times when you see some of these books, especially these old children's books, they immediately invoke some kind of feeling. Oh, I remember that. Oh, I loved that. I loved it when my parents would read that to me, or that was the first book I ever learned to read. Or maybe I couldn't even read it. I just looked at the pictures. So I was thinking that you all, having so much experience with books and such a love of them, would like to share that with some of the younger kids in our school. And so I've set up a project for you to make your own video. On the assignment, I have some examples from Reading Rainbow, some book reviews they're pretty old, but they're good. You can, if you have your parents' permission, can look up more of them online. And I think I'm including one book review of Jumanji by Chris Van Allsburg, and then also a reading of that book by the late Robin Williams, and it might be something that you want to just take a little time and remember that book. But right now, I'd like to give you this opportunity, this challenge for this project, to see if you can make a 1-minute video. You know, could be a little bit longer, but we don't want to go too long because we've got little kids that are going to watch them. Read a book that you loved or you just now picked up and decided to read it. Review it. Tell us a little bit about what's in it. Don't spoil the ending. Tell us why you liked it or why you didn't like it. Would you recommend it? What age group would you recommend it for? Who's the author? Who's the illustrator? I have all of the directions written down in your assignment, and I hope that you will give me some feedback on that. If you just want to write a little bit of a review, you know, we can do that as well. But I challenge you, if you would like this, to get yourselves something that will record to your parents' phone or on your computer, and you could be a family project or a group project. Come up with a good book review. And the best of them I'm going to include with my younger classes when I read them a book at the end. Your review might get posted. So take your time with it. Do it, redo it, have some notes down before you get started, and make it really incredible. If you really want to get into the editing, that's fine, but it can be as simple as this, just sitting down and recording. But I hope you guys are having some nice experiences at home. I hope that you're getting all of your work done, and I hope that you're all healthy and safe, and I hope to see you back soon in the library. Goodbye.